Welcome the Executive Chairman and CEO for the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, Jim Murren, in discussion with Skift Senior Hospitality Editor, Sean O'Neill.
Hey there.
Hello, Jim.
How are you?
Very nice to see you here. The Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection has created something entirely new in luxury, and that is a yacht-style cruising experience held to the brand standards of an iconic luxury brand. And Jim is going to tell us all about that. So we're very grateful for you being here, Jim.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I think we're going to play a little bit of video while you're talking, but many people in the audience haven't experienced this being on one of your vessels. So what makes it distinctive?
Well, we have now two, soon to have three super yachts. They range between 190 and 240 meters each. They service guests in the ultra high end of the market. These are yachts that can go to the same kind of bespoke ports that the private yachts go to, and a lot of yachts that our guests now charter, and they can go to ports where cruise ships can't go. And so they sail in the Mediterranean in the summer and the Caribbean in the winter. And our third yacht comes out of the harbor next year, and she'll be in the Asia Pacific market. So it's a unique bespoke experience, great access to the sea with a marina where you can swim, kayak, enjoy the water. We have 5-star chefs, Michelin-starred chefs on board, beautiful spa amenities, and that kind of service you'd expect from a Ritz-Carlton experience.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, life goals. Maybe if you could tell me a little bit about some of the passengers. So I had seen a statistic that about half of the people who have been on your sailings had never been on a traditional cruise experience themselves. So is that right?
That's true. 50%.
About 50%. So that means that you're not really competing against traditional cruising as a product. So what are you competing against when you do marketing?
These are folks that would rent a villa in the south of France, or maybe go on safari, or take an excursion to the Galapagos Islands, or they are very discerning in their travel experiences. We've been talking all day today about the experience economy that we're in, and they're looking for something unique and different. And we provide, for the first time, a yachting experience that is more accessible monetarily than chartering your own private yacht.
Cool. And you have researched high net worth individuals and what it is that high net worth individuals are looking for in travel today. So what have you found compared to what things were in the past?
Well, our folks, about 80% of our guests currently are from North America, although that's changing very rapidly. We're getting a tremendous amount of demand now from the Asia Pacific market and from this region, actually. They are looking for bespoke experiences. They don't want to go to the same vacation spots that they've been going to in the past. They want more culturally enriched experiences. They want to have something that really is very exclusive to the experience that we are providing. And they just don't want the run-of-the-mill luxury vacation anymore. They're looking for something very different. And we're trying to provide that type of environment for people.
Yeah, that's great. But get beyond the run-of-the-mill. And I agree with you. Experiential is something that we've been hearing throughout the day, as you say. Maybe you mentioned the Asia Pacific expansion. Would you create a sub-brand within Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection?
We have an exclusive deal with Marriott International. We can use other brands if we so choose to down the road, if we mutually agree to that. But we're really focused on Ritz-Carlton as a brand. It's their most powerful luxury brand. It has tremendous global recognition, and we have a wonderful relationship with Marriott, and I think we're going to focus on Ritz-Carlton for right now.
You pioneered the category, but there are competitors coming in. Four Seasons, Aman, Accor has Orient Express in combination with Sealy. So I'm wondering, how big of a market do you see this becoming?
We've done quite a bit of work on that. Thank you for asking. We think it's about a $5 billion US dollar TAM, total addressable market. And if you add up all the capacity, and of course we're the pioneers to this, we're the first, we'll have 3 yachts sailing before our competitors even get in the water. But if you add up all the competitors and ourselves and double that supply, it's just literally a drop in the bucket relative to the demand that we see right now.
So when you say it's a drop in the bucket compared to the demand that you see right now, for people like me, who are staying at the Premier Inn, it's hard for us to imagine that there is enough demand for this. But you believe that. So could you talk a little bit about, how wealth around the world, the top 1% or one of 1%?
Global wealth is growing very rapidly, as you know. And as I said, we're primarily a North American customer right now, and that's where we're witnessing the most rapid growth of the high net worth individual as we speak. And that's growing about twice the rate of GDP at this point. So we're very excited about that. And really for us, it's about brand awareness. It's getting this idea out into the public. The competitors will actually help in that, help establish the new category. So we're looking forward to their help because it's getting a little lonely marketing this product all by ourselves.
It's got to be fun, though, to be able to introduce the product. Do you plan to IPO?
I think that's most likely what's going to happen with this company in the future, but where our focus right now is creating that great experience for the 3 yachts. And we're also, by the way, we're designing ships 4 and 5 right now.
Ships 4 and 5, okay. You have had in a previous job, you were CEO of MGM Resorts, and you are currently chairman of Cirque du Soleil. So you have an eye on something that's sort of relevant to this region. You saw Las Vegas sort of like take advantage of entertainment as one of the components for building up the destination over a couple of decades in the desert. It has music and sports and events. Are there any lessons learned the hard way by Las Vegas that you think sort of might be beneficial for the GCC to keep in mind?
Yes. So when I joined MGM, I joined as a CFO back in 1998. It was a sports desert. Literally, we had literally nothing. This is at a time when professional sport leagues were avoiding Las Vegas like the plague. And now we can't get rid of them. We have, I was at MGM when we built T-Mobile Arena. That brought in a professional hockey team. Then I bought a women's basketball team from San Antonio, moved them to Las Vegas. They became the champion Las Vegas Aces. The Los Angeles and Oakland Raiders moved to Las Vegas. We're now having a baseball team. The Oakland Athletics are moving to Las Vegas. And we'll probably have an NBA team there, I predict, in the next 3 or 4 years. So we really have become a sports capital of the world. And that exactly is going to happen here, in my opinion. One reason why I'm spending a lot more time and I'm actually moving here in the UAE is because I see the same kind of growth in sports and entertainment in the UAE and in the Middle East as I saw in Las Vegas 30 years ago.
Interesting. And is there anything that you feel like would help with sort of like, were there any obstacles that were sort of overcome? Is like any sense of like having like an anchor product, anchor teams? Is there anything in terms of helping kickstart the momentum?
I think there's such great vision in this country in terms of infrastructure, building the right road systems, the right airports, the right facilities for both sports and entertainment. And of course, the private sector is doing its part too in terms of building integrated resorts here as well, which is going to have a big catalytic event in jumpstarting parts of this economy here in the UAE.
You're a very busy man, Jim. You also wear a hat as the chairman of the General Commercial Gaming Regulatory Authority.
I do.
And in last month, the authority approved the first gaming license in the UAE, and it's for Wynn Resorts at Ras Al Khaimah. So I'm wondering, when might Kerzner's Atlantis Dubai get a license?
Well, we're very excited for Ras Al Khaimah and the vision that leadership of that emirate has shown in terms of hospitality in developing with Wynn Resorts this unbelievable resort, which is going to open up in the first quarter of 2027, I believe. And that is going to have a tremendous economic effect on that emirate and in the region in general. I'm a big fan of Wynn Resorts. I competed against them for 25 years, and I know that they're a quality operator. And I think you'll see other integrated resorts in the UAE over the next 5 to 10 years as well. But Ras Al Khaimah certainly has the head start.
If you've gone through the process and the first one is always the hardest to do, but presumably the future license approvals should be faster. Is that right? So is it maybe early next year? This is one of the reasons I ask is the current CEO of MGM Resorts, Bill Hornbuckle. I spoke with him on stage in September, and he seemed to be hopeful that it would be sooner rather than later. Talking in terms of a year rather than multiple years.
Well, Bill used to work for me, so I'll have to talk to Bill about that. I think the process has been moving very deliberately here. The government has been very clear that they want to have a state-of-the-art, highly compliant, very rigorous regulatory regime to make sure this is going to be world-class from a regulatory perspective. And nothing that we're doing is going to rush that at all, because that is incredibly important to the government, and I take that responsibility very seriously. So I think you will see other licenses over time, but we're focused on the operators that we've already licensed, and the fact that there will also be a national lottery here, which we had announced earlier this year as well.
One last on gaming. There was a report that you pointed me out to, CBRE did earlier this summer that was sort of very authoritative on gaming. And one of the points that emerged is one of the potential source markets for the region is China, India, together long term. Do you agree with that assessment, and do you feel like China and India would be attracted to gaming here?
Yeah, well, of course, as we all know here, that we're within an 8-hour flight of over 75% of the world's population, including the countries that you're talking about and many others in the region. And this is going to be tremendously positive for the UAE in general because of the infrastructure that as an American, I despair over our infrastructure in the United States versus what we have here in the UAE. Another reason why I'm moving here. But I think that, yes, those are key source markets that will benefit the integrated resorts and all the hospitality industry here in the UAE.
Yeah, I agree with you. The UAE's infrastructure is far superior. We have some audience questions. How do you think Expo Riyadh 2030 and FIFA World Cup 2034 will affect the entertainment sector over the next 10 years?
Well, I mean, those are great examples, that and Formula One and other events that come into the region that have really catalyzed sports and entertainment and encouraged others to do the same. In my role as the chairman of Cirque du Soleil, I could tell you that we're likely going to be much more active in this region as well with the Cirque du Soleil product. I can envision the other entertainment products that will be here also. But this confluence of sports, entertainment, hospitality is absolutely an incredibly important trend that's going to continue for the foreseeable future. And I think it's going to really jumpstart many of the regions that are hosting those events.
You've always been a very data-driven executive. And when you say something like that, many executives will make this point about experiential being more important, but I can't tell how much of it is marketing and how much of it is real. Do you see, what is it that you mean when you see that people are spending more on either it's the entertainment part of the sports or maybe just more generally experiential elements like you might have at like in Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection?
Sure. Well, let's take Las Vegas. When I was there, 80% of our revenue was gaming revenue. 20% was non-gaming revenue. Now it's the exact opposite of that. Well over half the profits of the major integrated resorts in Las Vegas are non-gaming cash flows. we see this on Ritz-Carlton Yacht very clearly that people are not interested necessarily in a traditional cruise environment. They want something very, very different, which is why, as you said, half of our guests on Ritz-Carlton Yacht have never cruised before, and many of them probably will never want to. And already 20% of the people that are cruising with us have already cruised with us. So we have repeat customers in a very short term, and we only started sailing in 2022. So that's, I think, pretty impressive. So I think that clearly the data shows that people are much more interested in spending their discretionary income on experiences than on consumer products. And well, not to the exclusion of consumer products, but a much greater percentage of their budget now is going on experiences. We're seeing that in every demographic. At Ritz-Carlton Yacht, our average guest is only 53 years old, but much younger than the cruise industry. It's just a very different demographic.
And so tell me a bit more about that, please, because so when I was recently interviewing the CEO of Royal Caribbean, he was saying that they're witnessing active wealth transfer, which he means is that some baby boomers, rather than just keeping the savings for a long time, they're right now trying to create moments with their family, and some of that might be going on a Ritz-Carlton Yacht experience or something, have that. Do you witness any of that happening?
I absolutely agree with that. Absolutely.
Okay. And in terms of what has changed in terms of expectation? Like, so you've been following luxury for quite some time. One point that was brought up earlier in our event was that the GCC is appealing to a lot of different audiences around the world. As you were mentioning, the benefit of having this diversity of demand also means that you have multiple people having different expectations of what luxury means and what they expect with luxury. So how does Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection sort of handle these people who are coming in with different expectations and making sure that you're able to meet all of them?
Well, they're very discerning, they're very picky, and they are very vocal. So we need to make sure that we're delighting them and impressing them every step of the way. And the way we track that is when, at the end of their journey, we ask them to fill out a survey. And Marriott tracks this very religiously. It's called intent to recommend. Do you intend to recommend this experience, whether it's a resort or a cruise, to a friend or family member? And we're now scoring the highest in the global system of Marriott, with over 80% of those guests are saying yes, they would recommend that experience. So it's, as you said, we're data driven. But if we can't create an experience that people can't do on their own, they're just not going to sail with us.
We've already had these initial sailings, the Averma, you had your initial vessel. You're learning about what people want from the product, you're getting feedback. So how is that informing what's changing and what's coming for your future vessels?
Our guests now want to do more on shore, and they want more than just a traditional beach club experience, which they can get almost anywhere. So they want us to rent out a villa and have a dinner that's celebrity chef driven. They want to go on a tour of a vineyard and learn about the horticulture of winemaking. They want a behind the scenes tour of a cultural iconic building. They just want something that they can go home and talk to their friends and family about that they couldn't get in a traditional cruise experience with a more mass market type of focus. So we're finding they're getting much more particular in what they want to see, and we're rising to the occasion.
Cool. My UAE-based colleague, Josh Corder, has pointed out that, a couple of the competitors, Amman has some Saudi backing, Accor has some Qatari backing. Presumably, once they get their vessels in the water, they'll be fairly quick to get ports within the GCC region. How long will it be before your company is serving the GCC in a port?
Yeah, I think we're really focused right now on the Mediterranean, Northern Europe, which is we're going to next summer for the first time. The Caribbean, and then in the Asia Pacific market, but we'd love to be in this region, and probably when we get into ships 4 and 5, we get our future yachts, we'll probably bring one over here.
the hotel executives, when I speak to them, one thing they really like about the business right now is the supply-demand imbalance. For many years, supply has not been growing as fast as demand. How is it in terms of shipbuilding capacity at the yacht style level?
Yeah, there are really only 3 major shipyards in the world that can build the yacht that we're talking about, a super yacht that we're building. We're building in France at Chantier de l'Atlantique. It's one of the finest yards in the world. And we have slots for ships that can come out of the ocean in 2028 and another one in 2030. And these slots are very dear. There's a waiting list to get into that. So this is very much a supply-constrained market, which accrues to the benefit of the whole cruise industry, and we're certainly benefiting from that in the yacht business as well.
And how do you manage sort of exclusivity? There's for some people, a definition of luxury is exclusivity, and that partly means they're reluctant to be rubbing shoulders, in their words, with someone who's there on a rewards trip just because, they didn't build their own billion-dollar business, for example. Maybe they were a reward warrior, however you want to exaggerate or cartoonishly characterize it. Some other people, they may be coming from a country and privacy is very important for them. Others, being able to be social, meet new people is a key part of the travel experience. So people have different ideas of what it is that they want. How do you sort of configure the ship or experiences when you don't know what the mix is at any given moment going to be?
Yeah, that's a really good point. We do have we've had chartered our yachts as well. So, for example, Formula One, you're talking about sports, entertainment coming together. Mercedes chartered Avrima, one of our yachts, for Formula One this past year in Monaco. And so they brought on their top customers. But a lot of our guests can afford their own yacht, to charter their own yacht, but they want to bring in maybe multi-generations of their family, or they want to bring in 10 or 12 different couples, and they just can't accommodate that on a private yacht the way we can. We have so much public space on our yachts versus the number of cabins that if you want to be away and hang out and be by yourself and have your own intimate experience, you certainly can do that. But if you want to be a part of a social network, which many of these customers do want to meet people and become a part of a social network, we create very social environments around the pool areas, the restaurants, the public deck areas, and we're finding a nice mix between people that want to be secluded and romantic and on their own, and people that want to be more social.
So it has to be very cool to be working on a product that is like right at the cutting edge and is on this intersection of so many dynamic trends. I have to imagine at some point if you could host a G20 summit on board one of your vessels as a private charter and establish it. Jim, thank you so much for taking the time with speaking to me. I really enjoyed this conversation.
Really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.